welcome to our now monthly installment of A Little Talks, presented by A Little Help. We're glad that you could be here. We're glad that everybody could take time on a Wednesday. These have been some fascinating conversations that we've had on here the second Wednesday of each month. And we're going to continue that today. We have some fantastic presenters who are coming on today to really kind of, as spring is coming, to help us open up, to help us declutter, to help kind of, it's a little spring cleaning for the body, mind, and for our physical space. So we're kind of really looking forward to the group that's going to walk us through some things this morning, to talk with us, and to take some questions. If you have questions, feel free to throw those. There's a chat box at the bottom. There's either a chat or a Q&A box. If you notice, if you're with us by Zoom on the electronic format on your device or on the computer, if you mouse over the bottom, there's a little Q&A section. There's a little chat section. You can put questions in there as they come up, and we'll ask folks as we go along. But very glad to have today's program. Very glad to kind of get into this spring cleaning mode, and starting with the places that are the closest to us in the mind, the body, and our physical spaces. So today, and folks are popping up on the screen, you can see Melissa Adams will kind of kick us off. Melissa's a professional organizer, and will declutter the space and decluttering the mind, and kind of talk about how those things go together. You'll see, if you can give a wave, Jenny and Kylie. Jenny and Kylie are both occupational therapists and co-owners of a group called Thrive Therapy Colorado. And they'll be talking a little bit about safety tips and well-being in the house, in our physical space, as we're kind of, things that'll keep us safe and keep everything kind of decluttered and moving in those good directions. And our fourth speaker today is Winifred Lazine. She's a certified coach at the Life Purpose Institute. And Winifred will be talking about decluttering the mind, creating habits to help do these things, and to lead us more into the places that we want to be, freed up in mind and body and in our physical spaces. So without further ado, if I'm not careful, I'll take the entire hour and just talk about what I'm talking about. But I will stop and let us hear from some folks that know more about what we're talking about today. So I'm going to turn off my camera and mute myself, and the rest of us can follow suit, except Melissa, if you want to lead us in a little journey. We'll turn it over to you. Thanks so much.
Yeah, my pleasure. Hi, I'm Melissa. I own Happy Organized Denver. Obviously you can hear I'm not from Denver, I'm from England, but I have been living here about a year and a half. I started my company with the belief that everyone deserves to love their space and be healthy and happy and safe. So this talk is right up my alley, and all the other people that are going to talk really fall in line with part of what I do. And essentially when I work, I try to touch a little bit on safety, a little bit on the mind. But I'm going to talk to you about your space today. So I am a firm believer that there are certain aspects and parts of your house that should be super organized. And for the reason that it makes life easier, makes you happy, and most of all, it gives you more time to do things you love and be with people that you want to be with and go outside and do things, putting COVID aside. And I say that because I use this analogy that in the morning when you wake up and you go into your closet and your closet is a mess, that is the first place that you've been in the morning and you're already frustrated. Not only is it a mess, but you can't find the favorite top that you want to wear. You can't find a pair of socks that match or anything that you really need. And you've taken 10 more minutes in the closet when you could be downstairs with the family. Or you could have gone to your favorite coffee shop and got coffee in the morning instead of spending those 10 minutes doing things you shouldn't have been doing. Same thing goes for the kitchen, unloading the dishwasher. You know, when you don't know where anything goes and no one else knows where anything goes, no one else can participate. And it leaves everybody feeling stressed. They've come home at 6 o'clock. They've got a million things to do. And what they really should be doing is cooking dinner and spending time with the family. So I thought today I would talk to you guys about 2 spaces in the house that I think are achievable to do on your own. I have to say this, that if you tackle a large space and you take everything out and you try to do it yourself and you get overwhelmed, you are perfectly normal. Not wanting to do this on your own, perfectly normal. It is a lot. And redoing a whole space and organizing it takes time, and it takes patience, and it takes a lot of energy. I personally do 5-hour shifts with my clients, between 3 and 5-hour shifts, and that's it, because no one can spend a full day organizing. It's not good for you mentally, and it's not good for you physically. So I thought I'd talk to you about my process and how I do things, and then the 2 spaces in the house that you can achieve on your own without someone else. The first one is your entryway to your house. So where do your shoes go, your coats go, sun cream, all those things that you use on a regular basis. And the second one is your bedroom, particularly your bedside table. I believe your bedroom is for sleeping most of the time. It needs to be calm. You need to be able to breathe, relax, and switch off. And if your bedside table is piled high with stuff, it tends to not happen. And it tends to be a little bit harder to close down. And although we think that the stuff on the bedside table doesn't impact us, it does. Your space impacts you without being able to breathe and be calm and enjoy and be happy. It has an effect. I know that because I know whenever I work with people, they're always like, wow, I didn't know how relaxed I could be without all of this. So I'm going to share my screen with you. If I can figure out how to do it. Maybe I'm not going to share my screen with you because this isn't going to let me. Let's see. Of course, I should have. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I have a 5-step process that I do, and it's the same thing, and everyone can do this. The first thing you're going to do is take everything out of the space. So I suggest doing a small space, a small bit at a time. If you want to do something on your own, you can, but start small. So the first thing you're going to do is take everything out of the space. So I'm going to use your entryway as where to start. Most of you probably have a closet. So your coats and your shoes go in the closet. Sometimes there's brooms and vacuums and clothes and who knows what else in there that you don't use. The bottom is piled high with stuff because you just shove it all in because you had enough and don't know where to look. So for me, personally, I like to have a shoe rack. One of the things on the bottom of the closet, a shoe rack. You're going to have all the shoes that you wear on a regular basis in this closet. All the other shoes that you sometimes wear or never wear, or the ones that you want to hold on to because you think you're going to wear them, they go in the bedroom or they go in the basement. They go somewhere else that it's not in the space that you're using every day. So you're going to have the 5 pairs of shoes that you wear regularly. For me, it's 3 pairs of shoes I have out. I have trainers, flip-flops in the summer, and I have my snow boots currently. I have them by the front door, and I have them on a waterproof tray because my husband and I only have 3 or 4 pairs of shoes that we use regularly. The rest of them are in the cupboard on a shoe rack. And the ones that I use, I switch out when I'm replacing them. So come the summer, I'm going to switch out my snow boots, will go downstairs into the basement, and my flip-flops will come up. You can buy 2-tier shoe racks. You can get 8 pairs of shoes on there. That is plenty. Nobody is wearing a different pair of shoes every day. It doesn't matter how many times you tell me that you are. It's not possible. So a shoe rack, that's the first thing. Your coats, winter coats, summer coats. There's a difference, especially here in Colorado. So how many coats do you have? Maybe you want to have 6 coats. There's plenty of room in the closet for 6 coats. The rest of them go in the basement, or they go in a cupboard that is not being used as often. That way, when winter comes, summer comes, you switch them out. There's always a rotation happening. Everything doesn't need to be in the same place at the same time. You want to have the things that you are using regularly, readily available. Therefore, you only see what you want to use. You don't see an abundance of stuff that automatically makes you feel overwhelmed. I also always suggest 2 bins. Most people have a top shelf. You can get 2 bins up. If not, it can be a shelf by the front door. These are for things like keys, because how many times have you looked for your keys and you can't find them anywhere? My keys belong in a old maple syrup can, and they always go back in there. Whenever we come in and out, everybody in the house knows that's where they belong. Otherwise, as one of my clients told me this week, she found her keys in the baby's crib. So keys, wallet. What else do you go out the house with? In the summer, it's sun cream, sunglasses. In the winter, it's your hat, scarf, gloves, the things that you use every single day. So they go in a bin. You know, you can have your hat, scarves, gloves in one bin, regular ones that you use in the cupboard. So you know when you go to get them, that's where you go. In the summer, you switch them out, becomes baseball hats. For me, it's my baby carrier. We just had a baby, so the baby carrier is there because I use it all the time. Baseball hats for the summer. Winter, your hat, scarf, gloves. So you're going to switch it out. One bin becomes the things you use regularly, and the other one can be, what do you go out the house with? Is it your bag? Is it your purse? What are the things that you use every single day? So your entryway space becomes the things that you use every single day. It's a functional space that is not full of things that you are not using. The other thing I can suggest is a bench where you put your shoes underneath if you find that you need to sit down and you don't have a space. That way you sit down, you put your shoes on, you grab all the things you need, and you can go out the door easy, on time, feeling calm, knowing you have all the things you need. The second space I'm going to talk about is your bedside table. So the first thing we do, we remove everything from the contents, bedside table, all the things around it. You're going to rethink the space. So sometimes this is why you hire a professional, because you can't see what could be possible. That being said, a lot of people know that they just don't want anything out. They want a minimalist look, and that's great. So you're going to rethink your space. What are you going to donate? What are you going to give away? What do you need? What can be given to the charity store? How many books have you got that you haven't read that are sitting by your bedside table that you said you're going to read, and it's been like a year and they've been sat there? Me personally, I say you've got a month to read those. And if you don't, it's time to either give them away or put them downstairs, put them somewhere else. Give yourself a time limit. It's perfectly fine. And if you don't achieve it, also perfectly fine, perfectly normal. Think about what you're going to give away. What can you donate to someone? What can you give to family? What are you going to put back in the space that you use, that is functional, that serves a purpose? So you're going to remove everything. You're going to rethink. So all the books, all the sunglasses, the 25 pens, the old checkbooks, all the junk that you have in the drawer that you haven't looked at or you don't open because you don't want to look at, rethink it, categorize it. The next station, it's regroup. So you're going to categorize, put all the pens together, all the reading books together, all the magazines. If it's your closet, all your scarves, all your hats, all your gloves, everything goes together. Then you can see how much you have. And then you can think about what you're going to get rid of. Then you're going to restore. You're going to put it back in its space. So for the bedside table, me personally, 3 books max, you know, unless you're an avid reader, which I have some clients are, and they have, you know, 20 books piled up and they're all open because they love to read. Great. You know, if you use it, keep it. You don't have to get rid of anything, but you do have to use it if it's in your space or if it's in the space that is by your bed. Is it a bedside table? You know, do you want to invest in a new lamp because the one that you have has a broken lampshade and you've had it for 30 years and you just haven't got around to doing it and it bothers you? Let's get yourself a new lamp. Do you want to get a salt crystal lamp, something that's going to make you feel more relaxed at night? You know, do you want some crystals or things? Is there something new that you want to do? Think about that. If not, you can keep the books, 3 books. You can keep some pens by the bedside table. You know, if you're doing crosswords, great. You know, what do you use at night? The things that you need, you can have by the bed. Put them back in the drawer. Use the drawer as your space to say, okay, this is how much space I have. I don't want to overfill the drawer, but I'm going to try and keep all the things that I need. And you can start to put them back in a logical way, the way that you can see them. If the drawer is too full, you probably have too much stuff in there. If you don't and you use everything, maybe you need to get a different bedside table that has 2 drawers and the books go in the bottom and the things you use go in the top. There's always a simple solution, and sometimes it takes hiring someone to help, but most people know what they need. And the last thing is to regain your space, to be happy in your space, to feel safe in your space, to be able to breathe and relax in your space, to be able to go out the door on time. You're not always running late. My dad is always running late. And I put my dad as one of the reasons why I do what I do, because nothing was ever on time. It was always a hassle finding things, and it never benefited me. I always got anxious. I always felt stressed. We just had a baby, and I'm learning more so now more than ever that the skills that I give to other people, I need to put into my own house and do more of. Putting the keys in the right place, keeping all the baby stuff together so I'm not running around finding things. I am a firm believer that a happy, organized home, happy, organized space equals a happy, organized person. That is why I do what I do. Yeah, that was my presentation. If you have any questions, you're welcome to email me. You can go to my website, happyorganizeddenver.com, fill in the questionnaire, which I can show you. If you click the contact button, you can fill this questionnaire in, and I will get back to you. I hope you all have a nice day, and thank you for letting me share.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much, Melissa. And all of this information, Melissa's contact information, the website information, the contact, and this looks, all of that will be on our website, alittlehub.org. After the presentation, I should have mentioned, we are recording this today, so there will be a copy of this. If you want to go back and look at some things and see what were those steps again, you can always go back to this. It'll be right on our website. And it looks like those steps that you just walked through are posted on your site, Melissa?
Yeah, on my website, if you click on the services button and you scroll down, you'll see the method. It's right there.
I love it. I love it. It's such a good point. The very first encounter, the very first experience you have in the morning.
Yeah, and the last thing at night when you're putting your clothes away.
That's, we have to take care of ourselves. I think that's the point. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for that. And again, all of this information will be posted again. Thanks so much, Melissa. Our next presenters are, of course, from Thrive Therapy, Colorado, Jenny and Kylie, both occupational therapists. Do you want to jump on? There we are. And we have the screen back. Fantastic. So without taking up too much time, thank you, ladies, for coming on and sharing a little bit about how to make our spaces safer and more hospitable to us.
Yes, hi, thanks for having us.
It's fantastic.
I'm going to share my screen here, and then we will get started. Hang on one second. Okay, so today we're going to talk about some tips and just different ideas for home safety, as well as physical well-being, and then just some movement ideas for you while you're at home. I mean, I know people are getting out and about a little bit more, but just things that you can do in your own space. So to start, we just wanted to introduce ourselves. So my name's Jenny, and Kylie is my counterpart. And we both are occupational therapists, and we own Thrive Therapy, which is a mobile outpatient therapy company. So we provide occupational therapy, physical therapy, and speech therapy to individuals living at home or anywhere in the community. So we can meet you at your house or at a fitness center, at the grocery store, wherever you need to go to kind of meet your goals and get back into living in the community or doing things that are difficult for you. We both started out in skilled nursing facilities. So we've pretty much always worked with older adults, and we've both been occupational therapists for about 8 years. So just briefly, wanted to give an overview about what we're going to talk about today. So our goals are to help you to continue living in the comfort of your own home. We want you to be able to apply some simple home modifications and name some community resources that are available, and as well as kind of talk about some different benefits of exercises. And we're going to give you some example exercises that you can do.
So how can we assist in home safety? So just looking at red flags in the home, and we are going to go in more detail on some of these things, but just overall clutter, removing clutter from common spaces, common pathways to increase your safety. Looking at the flooring throughout your home. Is it carpet, tile? Is it slippery? Is it a high pile? Can you get from one room to the next room safely? Do you have stairs in your home, and how many stairs? Do you have a railing on one side, both sides? Are you carrying items up and down the stairs? What kind of concerns are there? Your bathroom, do you have grab bars? Are they in the correct placement? Do you need more bars? Do you have a shower chair, or could you benefit from a shower bench, or maybe even a raised toilet seat? And then do you just have access to all the rooms that you need to get to safely?
So to start, we wanted to give you a little example of a bathroom. So I found this picture that I feel like is a beautiful bathroom, and it has some great ideas and examples for some safe modifications that you can make. So as you can see, there are a lot of different types of grab bars. So there are some that are vertical or horizontal, or both vertical and horizontal. The toilet is a raised toilet. You can't really tell in the picture, but it's a higher toilet. There's a shower chair, a handheld shower head, which can be nice just so that you can rinse off yourself versus having to kind of move your body in the shower. There's not a picture of it, but there's something called toilet arms, or a commode that would go over the toilet and raise it up a little bit and then provide arms. So it would give you something to push off of or reach back for when you're transferring on and off the toilet. And then also looking at the surface. So this picture isn't a great example, but they make different strips you can put down in your tub or shower, or also like a mat. There's a non-skid mat you can lay down, like a rubber mat, to help you just have better grip when you're in the shower, because that really is one of the places that people are concerned about falling. And so we want to make sure that you're safe when you're in the bathroom. And I want to make note too, as you can see in the picture, there's a towel bar. It's really important that you're not using the towel bar as a grab bar. So you really don't want to be putting weight through a towel bar, because it's not meant to hold weight and it could fall off the wall. So it's okay to put towels on a grab bar, vice versa, but don't be holding on to a towel bar.
So some safety tips for your kitchen: have commonly used items within reach. So pulling just your plates, your bowls down and keeping them on the counter surface. Keeping items that maybe you use daily, like a certain pot or a pan, keep it up from the bottom shelf so that you can get to it easily and you're not wasting energy and time. Adding under cabinet lighting. So there's lots of different variations of what that can look like, but there are lights that just stick to the bottom of the counter that you can tap, but increasing your lighting so you can see what you're doing, what you're cutting, what you're opening, to make the task easier and safer. And then just making sure you can move around your kitchen easily and safely. Sometimes we're moving big pots and pans. Sometimes we have an assistive device in the kitchen with us. So making sure that those transitions are smooth and safe.
So moving on to the bedroom and living room, one thing that I think is important, especially if it's dark outside or night, is having a night light or some sort of automatic light, maybe that turns on with movement, or just if it's dark outside, they sometimes have little lights that will automatically turn on, just to make sure that you can see where you're going, especially if you're getting up to the bathroom or just getting up to get a drink of water, whatever it might be during the night. Also, the picture here is called a bed cane. So it's just a little bar that slides under the mattress and just gives you a little bit of support. So if you're having trouble getting in and out of bed, this can be a good option. It also has a little pouch so it can hold your glasses, your phone, the remote, whatever you might need, kind of like a little bedside table, but just right there at the side of your bed. Other options are a hospital bed, or a bed that just has the function of moving the head of the bed up and down, or the knees up and down. Also kind of the same wavelength as like a lift chair. So it's a recliner that can actually lift you up if you're having trouble standing up. There are pros and cons to that. Of course, if you're having trouble getting up, it's great, but also it can make some people lazy because they don't want to, try to get up. So good and bad, I guess. Also doors, just thinking about, are you able to open and close it and lock and unlock it? And what type of handle is it? Is it like a knob where you have to actually physically turn it with your hand? Or is it more of a lever where you could use your whole hand? Sometimes a lever is a little bit easier to open and close. So thinking about that, if that is something that becomes tricky for you, maybe if you have arthritis in your hands or something like that. And then looking at the furniture layout. So are you able to, is there a clear path to get around? If you have an assistive device like a walker or a cane, are you safely able to maneuver around your furniture? And especially paths that you're going to frequently. So in the bedroom to the bathroom, you know, the living room to the kitchen, things like that. So just making sure that your path is clear and safe and free of clutter and furniture isn't in the way. A lot of times we come into someone's house and they have like a little table that they love, which is fine, but it's, you know, in the middle of the room and then they're bumping their knees on it every time they get up. So just thinking about maybe we just need to move it back a little bit, or put it to the side of the couch versus in front, things like that.
So just kind of a recap on the home safety tips. Have the commonly used items that you use every day within reach. So that can be in your bathroom, in your bedroom, in your kitchen, even in your living room. Just keep things easy so that you can get to them. You're the one living in this environment, so you want to make it easy and safe for you. Removing throw rugs. This is a big one. We are attached to our rugs, but they are a huge fall risk, very big safety concern. So if you are going to have a rug in your home, make sure that it has like a non-skid surface on the other side so that it can kind of grip to the floor, or there are like tape that you can put down on the corners to help attach the rug more. It's not necessarily the safest, but it might be a better option. But just know that rugs are not safe. And then normally in our house, we probably are not wearing shoes. So just making sure that you have non-skid socks or non-skid slippers so that you have a grippy surface when you're walking around. And then just overall lighting, just ensure that you have enough lighting throughout your house. Maybe you have extra lights, you have table lamps or floor lamps, so that you can see where you're going, that you can see what you're doing, but also make sure that you have access to those lamps and that you're not trying to climb over the couch to reach to turn on and off a light. So make sure that you can reach them easily. And putting night lights in hallways and in the bathroom and in your bedroom is a great idea as well. And then I think a big one we've touched on is just removing clutter from common pathways that you walk through so that you have an easy way from one room to the next room and you're not worrying about tripping over an object.
So we just wanted to point out that there are a lot of different resources available in the community. So if you are finding that you need some adaptive equipment or certain supplies, there's places where you can rent equipment. There's places that you can find secondhand equipment. I actually have seen on Nextdoor, which is like the neighborhood app a lot of people use. People will say, hey, I need a wheelchair for a short time, or I need a shower chair or something like that. So that's a place to look also. But these are actually places in the community that really exist for people to use equipment or loan equipment. So the first one is South Metro Medical Equipment Loan Closet. We have their phone number, and of course you'll have access to this presentation and we can send this information as well if you'd like. But you can lease equipment or loan equipment for up to 3 months. They do require a donation, but that's up to you to decide how much you want to donate. And they have all sorts of things. So basically what I would do is just call and say, this is what I'm looking for. Do you have it available? And then they can let you know. Same with Good Health Will. So it's just like Goodwill, but it's called Good Health Will. It's actually in Loveland and Greeley, so it's a little bit far north, but they have secondhand equipment and they have their inventory available online on their website. And you can also just call them and ask the same thing if they have whatever you're looking for. There's another place called HELP. It's through the Assistance League Denver. It's Hospital Equipment Lending Program. Again, same thing, just if you were in need of any medical type of equipment, they will give it to you at no charge, and then you just have to return it when you're done with it. So if you're in rehab at the end of your rehab, or if you're at home getting rehab or whatever it might be, but you do need a referral for that. So it can be an OT, a PT, it can be from a case manager at a hospital or a doctor. There's also a place called Senior Hub. That's actually in Thornton, and it's free for seniors 60 and over. And again, you can just call, ask if there is a rental cost. There's typically not, but you can call, ask for their availability. Independently Yours is, they have a storefront in Parker. It's a medical equipment store, and they have things you can purchase that are brand new, or they also have a loan closet as well. Toucan is a place in Denver, same thing. It's just a medical equipment store. Accessible Systems, I don't know if anyone has done a remodel or a home modification. They provide stair lifts, ramps, wheelchair lifts. They basically have anything you could think of that you were to need. They have elevators, all sorts of things. So if you are thinking, oh, I need to modify my home in some way, they are a great resource, a great local company to call. Bentley Baths is one that just does therapy baths and tubs. Ramp is, of course, just ramps. And then Silver Cross is a place that recycles, and they also have new home lifts. So if you were to need a lift to get in or out of your home, that is a company that exists for that. So we just wanted to give some ideas or places or resources in the community if you were to ever need, just so you know that there are things that exist to help you keep your home safe. Or if you were to need to remodel or modify things, there are a bunch of places around and people available.
So if you are thinking that maybe you need a home safety evaluation that is completed by an occupational therapist or a physical therapist, and we come to your home and we just look at your daily routine, maybe what struggles you're having, and work with you to find the best solution, it is 99% of the time covered by insurance. So your insurance pitches in to help you live at home safely. Isn't that great? But we also come with resources like Jenny just explained to help cover costs for things. And these recommendations can be simple and small, from installing a grab bar to redoing a whole bathroom so that it's more accessible and safer so you can continue to live at home.
So we also wanted to talk about staying physically fit at home. So thinking about how we can keep our movement up and just do different simple exercises while we kind of feel like we're stuck at home during this pandemic. So the main reason why it's important to do that is because muscle strength is directly related to falls, and falls are the #1 cause of injury and accidental death in adults over the age of 65. So we really want to make sure that you're not going to fall. And one of the ways to do that is to keep up your muscle strength.
So how much activity do we really need daily? We need at least 150 minutes a week of moderate intensity aerobic exercise. What in the heck does that mean? That means just getting your heart moving quicker than what it normally would during a daily activity. So 150 minutes a week, that's about 20 minutes a day. That's not too bad. So going for a brisk walk, maybe doing a leisure activity like golfing or tennis, maybe going to the gym and riding the bike. Those are some different examples. In addition, we also need to do muscle strength training at least 2 days a week. And that could include doing body weight exercises or using weights.
So the benefits of strength training, so that would be like the 2 days a week that is recommended. It really is just building up your muscle mass. So that helps preserve your bone density. It helps you stay independent, and it just helps with your vitality that comes with age. So we want you to stay, active and able to move around, to be able to, spend time with your grandkids, to chase after them, to go golf, whatever that might be. And another benefit of strength training is just the ability to reduce the risk of not only osteoporosis, but also a lot of different chronic diseases. So it might not, of course, eliminate the disease altogether, but it will help to decrease the signs and symptoms that you're experiencing with certain diseases, such as heart disease, arthritis, diabetes, things like that, as well as improve your sleep and reduce depression. So you've probably all heard that if you exercise, your body releases endorphins, which kind of make you feel good and happy. So we want you to, be able to have those kinds of positive signs and symptoms when you do exercise. So it will help you kind of stay in that happy zone versus kind of feeling down and bummed, especially while we're kind of stuck at home.
So why do we strength train? Jenny just went through quite a few things, but to prevent bone fractures, to increase our muscle mass, to improve our overall movement, to feel better, to be more flexible, to be able to do our activities that we want to do, to reduce fall risk and just our overall mood and quality of life. This is just a fun fact. By the age of 70, we lose 25% of our muscle mass. That's a lot. So it's important to continue strength training so we can keep moving safely and to do the things we want to do.
So sorry, I'll be quick because I know we're running out of time, but just some little tips on how to strength train safely. The number one thing really is education. So making sure that your form is correct and that you're doing exercises safely. So, you know, we don't want you to just pick up 20-pound weights and start exercising. It's really important that you kind of start small, start low reps, low weight, and then work your way up. Your muscles are going to react negatively if you're just all of a sudden kind of shocking your system with a lot of weights, a lot of reps. So, and just making sure that your form is correct. So we don't want you to get hurt or hurt another part of your body by trying to strength train. Again, train, don't strain. So try to hit all your muscle groups. Try to do like 1 or 2 sets of, you know, I always say like 8 to 10 reps to start. You can increase then as you feel good. I would give it a day or 2, let your body kind of see how it's feeling. Then you can up the reps. Make sure you keep breathing throughout, nice deep breathing, and you're listening to your body. So if you feel like something's not right, or you kind of feel like you're tweaking something, or you're using a different muscle that you're not sure you should be, that's a really good time to reach out to someone, a personal trainer, a therapist, your doctor, you know, anyone that might have some expertise in muscle movements and see, are you doing it correctly or what's happening there? But just making sure you're listening to your body. Rest if you feel tired, things like that. And then again, like I said, just making sure you're progressing your exercises. So you're not just all of a sudden like doing a bunch of crazy things. Making sure you're taking it easy, step by step, gradually progressing everything.
So the benefits of aerobic exercise, according to research, the Mayo Clinic, aerobic exercise also keeps your muscles strong. So again, aerobic exercise and strength training are important to help maintain our mobility. It can help lower the risk of falls, improve our quality of life, help keep our mind sharp, our thinking skills, our reasoning, our judgment, our recall, all of those things working better. I think these facts are kind of cool. It can help prevent the onset of dementia, and it can help improve the cognition in someone that has dementia. So it's just so important that we move every day.
So just kind of briefly, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services recommends that all adults do some type of strength training that hits all of your major muscle groups 2 times a week. I know we've already said that. We're kind of repeating ourselves, but making sure you're hitting all muscle groups. So you're not just working your arms out twice a week. We want to make sure you're hitting your legs, your core, every part of your body. And then if you aren't able to, for some reason, if your health doesn't allow you to do 2 full sessions, just making sure that you're doing what your abilities allow you to do. So just do as much as you can. And then just kind of to sum up, so we actually have a list of 16 exercises that you can do each day at home, and you can do them all sitting or laying down. And we have a copy. There's also a YouTube video I have the link here for, but I can just show you real quick what it looks like. But if you go onto our website, or if you just want to send us an email at our email right there, which Jason can also share, we're happy to send you a copy of it. But right here, it's just like a little packet of a bunch of 16 different exercises that you can easily do at home. And if you don't have weights, you can use other things, you know, a water bottle, a can of beans, whatever it might be, just something that has a little weight to it that can be used like a weight. Hang on, I think that's pretty much all. Here's our contact information. And again, Jason can share that as well. But there's our email, our phone number, and then our website. So you can either email us directly, or you can input your email on our website, and we're happy to send you a copy of all of those exercises if you would like. So thanks for having us and letting us share. Please let us know if anyone has questions, and we can pass it along to Winifred.
Definitely. Thank you, ladies, for sharing all of that. And to reiterate, we will, if you can make sure that I have those slides, we will put those out. They'll come out in an email. We'll send a link to the full the video of this recording and contact information for everybody here, and other information. So thanks so much. Thanks so much for being part. That's really, really some good information. And now Winifred, I will turn it over to you and say thank you again for coming on and sharing. Winifred, again, is a life coach, a certified life coach, and will talk to us about, well, decluttering our minds. And I feel like, especially today, here at A Little Help, we're gearing up for our kindness days this weekend. And there are a lot of details. I'm going to be paying close attention to this one, I'll tell you. So thank you. Without further ado, I will turn off my camera.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for having me. I'm really excited to be here. I am a life coach. I deal with a lot of people who are going through transitions and transforming their lives in some way. So perhaps changing jobs, thinking about changing jobs, looking towards retirement, or just really any kind of transition. And for a lot of the people that I work with, the pandemic has certainly been an unintended transition that they're having to deal with. What does that mean for them on a day-to-day basis? So I work with people and I help them set goals so that they can work towards things, feel like they're making progress in their day-to-day life, and perhaps really working towards that bigger goal down the road. I'm sure some of you have set New Year's resolutions, and now we're in mid to late April, and you might want to check in and see how you're doing with those. So some of the things I think are the key things in terms of decluttering your mind is really learning to be present. And a lot of the things that I have found to be really true are a lot of those things that you hear all the time and that seem just entirely ridiculous to be too profound, but they really are. So breathing and being present is extremely important. You cannot do anything about what happened yesterday or last week or last year or before the pandemic. And you really can only plan for and make steps that you're going to work on for the future, but worrying obsessively about the future also will not get you anywhere. So you really need to be present. Another key concept that I find that really helps me to build in space to just be able to work on things is a practice of gratitude, which again seems like something that you hear all the time. And that's not just simply by being grateful about things, but really listing them and thinking about them. I often think in the morning before I get out of bed, I think of 3 things that I'm grateful for. And these do not have to be earth-shattering, gigantic, momentous events in my life. This morning, it was that my cat was snuggled up next to me, my husband was making me coffee, and it was going to get warmer, although it's snowing right now, so I don't know, I don't know if that's really happening. So I do that. I do 3 things I'm grateful for in the mornings. I try to do that throughout the day when I think about it, and then I do it again before I go to bed at night. And I really take the time to think of that. The things that we put our attention on are the things that really tend to show up in our lives. So if you're always focusing on what's not going right or what hasn't yet happened for you or what you can't do because of the pandemic, then those things will actually appear more. By focusing on the things that you're grateful for and the things that you want to see, you are much more likely to be able to make them come through in your life. So I wanted to give you 3 energy medicine exercises that I do a lot. If you can only remember one of them, that's awesome. Do whichever one makes sense to you. But I have 3 little exercises that I think are also very helpful for when our minds get too full, too confused, too frustrated, or even other people around us are causing us to sort of lose our focus and get us all jumbled. So the first one I'm going to show you is called a crown pull, and it may sound weird, but I would bet that you probably already do this one instinctually. So I know that when I get frustrated sometimes, I just grab my head and I'm like, ah! I'm sure I'm not the only one. So that is actually an exercise that helps to calm you down in terms of your brain activity. So you put your 2 thumbs like around your temples, and then you bring your fingertips to the center of your forehead and you pull them apart. And you can use light pressure if that feels good to you, or you can use as firm a pressure as you like. I like firmer pressure. And then you can move that. So move your thumbs and then move throughout your head and just do it around your whole head. Take the time and then also really breathe while you do it. So I'd like you to do it with me if you can. So take your thumbs, put them on your temples. You look a little bit like a reindeer. Take a nice deep breath in. Put your fingertips in the center of your forehead. And as you exhale, pull your fingertips apart. And then inhale. Move your thumb a little bit. Move your fingers to more towards your hairline. Inhale and exhale. And again, move it backwards. Inhale, put your fingertips at the center and pull. And again to the back. Inhale and exhale. And if you find yourself getting just crazed with people around you and you're going, that is a good reminder. Oh, I should actually turn this into an exercise and help myself feel better and help my brain clear a bit. Another one that I love to do that is probably my favorite. It's also one that you can do for other people so that you can also do it, if someone else is having a really stressful day or complaining. It really is soothing. So this one is you take your palm and you put it on your forehead and one palm on the back of your head, sort of towards where your head sort of is curving back down, the occipital area. You can use either hand. It does not matter which hand you use. If you can't do the hand figure, you can go right back to where we were of this one, but just hold it right here. Okay, so I'd like everybody to try that one as well. So take one of your hands on your forehead, one of your hands on the back of your head, and inhale and exhale. I'll talk you through it and we'll do 4 good breaths. So inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale, and inhale, and exhale. And you can do that for as long as you like. That is a wonderful one to clear the crazies out of your brain if it's just getting to be too much. Then I know that we all also sometimes react to the people around us. And I can sometimes be having a wonderful day, really focused, really achieving everything that I want to do. And then that person comes in and says that thing and it sets me off and I'm not able to stay focused. So I want to teach you how to clear some other people's energies. So this one, I'm going to back up just a little bit, but I'll talk you through it. You take one of your hands and you put it on the opposite shoulder. And then you inhale. And as you exhale, you bring your hand across your body and down to your opposite hip point. And then you take the other hand and put it up on your shoulder, inhale. And as you exhale, you bring that across your body to your opposite hip point. You can also then take your hand and kind of wipe off all of their excess energy off of your arms and just flick it away. That's one that you can do sitting, you can do it standing, you can do it while you're walking. You can walk away from someone who's driving you crazy and just really quickly knock that out. So these are some of the top things that when people say, how do I get back to what I want to focus on? How do I stay focused on what I'm really interested in, on what my goals are, and not get distracted by all the craziness in the world? Remember, stay present. Take deep breaths. Really, breathing is the simplest and easiest thing to keep you in place. And be grateful. Have a strong gratitude practice. Bring the things into your thoughts that you want to see in your life rather than focusing on the things that you do not want to see in your life. So as a coach, I help people achieve their goals. I help them transition. One of my clients has been a nurse for many, many years. And one of the transitions she wanted to do, she wanted to become a travel nurse. And she just did. So she's had tremendous success doing that. And some of the exercises were things that really kept her focused, kept her grounded while she was working towards that. I would like to offer to anybody here that if they are interested in trying coaching with me, I will offer a 60-minute free introductory session. In the information coming out tomorrow, you'll be able to see my information, but my website is winifredlazine.com. My phone number is 391-1160. Please reach out, and I would love to work with you and see where we can go and see what your dreams are and how to stay on top of your goals. Thanks. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, Winifred, and everybody, Melissa, Kylie, Jenny, everybody for being here, and thank you for that offer, Winifred. That's amazing. Anybody who's listening to this, if you call up, it's a fantastic offer. And again, all of the contact information, all of the information in the slides and material, we'll put that up online and send out a link in an email so everybody can have access to it. And thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in today. This has been a fantastic installment. And what a way to get ready for spring, to kind of open things up and clear out the clutter and kind of be able to focus on what we want and where we need to be. So tune in a month from now. We will be back on the screen and we'll send out much more information. But again, as spring is coming, we have an opportunity to kind of open things up, to talk about opening up for spring. Well, I don't want to give away the roster yet, but it'll be fascinating and it'll be fun. And I look forward to seeing you back again here in just a few weeks. Tanya will be sending out emails and information. And one great thing about this, when the Thrive folks were talking about locations that were down in Denver and resources that you could look at up here in Loveland, is to remind us that this is really kind of a unique space, in that we have people on this call from all over the state who are able to take part in what we're doing and hear about these great topics and find resources. And so whether you're